Hi, welcome to 7 Report and our review of the Kangertech Subtank Nano. The sub-ohm tank war is raging. Now, just a few months ago, that statement would have been a little absurd. Sub-ohm vaping with an off-the-shelf tank? That's just crazy talk. But no longer. What was once the exclusive domain of rebuilders and drippers is now available to us tank vapors. Kangertech fired one of the first shots in the sub-ohm war back when they introduced 1.0 and 0.8 ohm coils that would fit their Aero tank line. Not long after that, Aspire and Kangertech each introduced tanks specifically designed to handle their new 0.5 ohm coils. That would be Aspire's Atlantis and Kanger's Subtank. Now, Kanger also includes a newly designed 1.2 ohm coil with each member of the Subtank family. Now, the latest battle in this sub-ohm war goes to Kangertech with the introduction of 2 new members to the Subtank line, the Mini and the subject of this review, the Nano. The Subtank Nano employs Kanger's new OCC, that stands for Organic Cotton Coil head, and their enhanced adjustable airflow system. The OCC head uses organic Japanese cotton, which allows you to experience the purest taste from any e-juice you choose. Now, the Nano is 510 threaded with a Pyrex tank and stainless steel base, removable drip tip, has a 3.0 mil e-juice capacity, and has a diameter of 18.5 millimeters. That's the most slender member of the Subtank family. In the box, you'll find the Nano itself with one of the OCC heads already installed. The 0.5 ohm is already installed. It has the extra Pyrex tank, and it also has the second OCC head, in this case a 1.2 ohm OCC head. It is 510 threaded, has the Pyrex tank, stainless steel base. The drip tip is removable and what Kangertech calls large bore or large hole. It is a pretty wide hole for that drip tip, although it gets a little bit smaller in the tank itself. Also in the box, the owner's manual, and it's got the red O-rings. Now, if you thought the Kangertech Aero tank or the Aspire Nautilus tanks took your vaping experience to a whole new level, wait till you fire up the Subtank Nano. The 0.5 ohm OCC comes pre-installed in the Nano. Fill it with your favorite e-juice, start vaping, and that e-juice is going to taste like a brand new flavor and produce more vapor than you thought possible. Even using the 1.2 ohm OCC, the vapor output borders on the unbelievable, and the taste of that e-juice, amazing. That's thanks largely to the low resistance of the OCC heads and the use of that organic Japanese cotton as a wicking material. The cotton doesn't interfere with the flavor of the e-juice like some other coils can, so all you get is pure flavor. Now, if there's one area where the Nano is just a little lacking, it's in the features that Kanger gave it. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't probably have noticed that if they hadn't shipped me a Subtank Mini at the same time as they sent the Nano. It's not that the Nano is void of handy features, it just has fewer than other tanks in the Subtank line. On the plus side, Kanger does include that replacement Pyrex tube, also includes 2 of the OCC heads, one at 1.2 ohm, the other at 0.5 ohm. And of course the drip tip also is replaceable, so if you want to swap that stainless steel tip out for something else, you can do that pretty easily. It accepts most drip tips. Now, the Nano does have Kanger's enhanced airflow system. I'm going to try and get that in there as close as we can so you can see it, and we'll start off at fully closed. So it's got 4 settings. This one is fully closed, and you turn it once and it's going to click in there. I don't know if you could hear that click or not, but you can certainly feel it. There's the smallest opening, besides obviously fully closed, with 1 air port or air hole. Air port makes it sound like you're supposed to be landing airplanes there. You turn it a little bit more till it clicks again. The medium setting is with the 2 air holes. And then wide open is pretty wide open, if you can see that. Now I must admit that I do prefer a little bit the older adjustable variable airflow system that Kanger had on their Aero Tank Mega, where the whole thing was just one big opening, but this was a little smaller and you slid it. You could fine or tune it a little bit more than the presets that Kanger includes in this one, but so far it has actually worked out pretty well for me. Now, another nice feature that Kanger's included is on the OCC heads, and this is very small, but they have etched into each head OCC, so as if the square size isn't enough to tell you, and the ohm rating and the wattage range that they suggest for each individual OCC. Now for the 1.2 ohm, they suggest, I believe it's 12 to 20 watts, or maybe it's 12 to 25 watts, 12 to 25 watts, and for the 0.5, 15 to 30 watts. The Subtank Nano is a solid little tank, although with a 3.0 mil e-juice capacity, I don't know that little is the right word. It has strengthened Pyrex glass in the tube, stainless steel components, and an easy to adjust airflow system. There's a little click that the airflow system makes when you have it properly aligned, and you can feel it as well as hear it. Any tank is only as good as the coil that goes into it. And so far, the newly designed OCC heads are tremendous. The cotton produces a pure taste without interfering with the e-juice's flavor, and the low resistance of the coils produce plenty of vapor. Now there are 2 little things, I even hesitate to call them issues, that you need to be aware of before running out and buying a Subtank Nano. Neither is a deal breaker, or really even a negative, but if you're not aware of them, you might find yourself disappointed. Okay, the first little issue, I guess you would call it, is that not every mod is going to be able to fire the Subtank Nano or take full advantage of its capability. The 1.2 ohm OCC has a usable range of 12 to 25 watts, and the 0.5 ohm OCC has a range of 15 to 30 watts. Now I use an Heineken MVP2 and an E-Leaf iStick most of the time, and the MVP2, totally worthless when it comes to the Subtank Nano. Won't fire either of the coils. The iStick will only fire the 1.2 ohm OCC, and even on that, it can't get up to its full 20 watts. As you see, we're at 4.6 watts here, which is or volts rather here, which is as far up as it's going to go, and 19.2 watts with that. And this is calling it a 1.1 ohm coil. So while the E-Leaf iStick will fire it, and actually it fires it very well, and you get loads of vapor out of it, it's not going to get it as high as it's capable of. And the second little issue with the cotton is that you cannot dry fire the Subtank Nano. Not if you want to actually vape with the OCC head that you have in there, because dry firing it will just burn that cotton up. Matter of fact, Kanger even recommends, you can see in there and see the cotton inside that coil, that before using it for the first time, that you drip a few drops of your e-juice directly on to that cotton that is in the coil. And now what I have found too is that when you switch from one flavor e-juice to the other, you know, most coils are going to still have a little bit of that first e-juice taste in there, even after you've refilled your tank with a second flavor? Well, on these coils, it just seems like the original flavor stays in there a little bit longer. Now you can mitigate that a little bit by, again, just dropping a couple of drops directly into the OCC onto that coil, and that will help, not really flush, but it'll just get the new juice flavor in there a little faster. Although it does take longer, as I said, for the original juice that you put in, for the flavor to totally dissipate and the new to take over. And that's not a big problem if you're using similar types of e-juice, but if you go from like a real fruity e-juice to a chocolate or something like that, you're going to notice those first couple of hits with the new e-juice in are going to be this wild combination that sometimes might work for you, other times it's just going to be something you got to put up with until you've totally flushed the original e-juice flavor out of there. Yeah, I really like the looks of the Subtank Nano. It's sleek and slim enough so that it doesn't look out of place even on this skinny e-leaf eye stick. The red O-rings kind of provide a nice contrast to all that Pyrex and stainless steel, and the wide bore of that drip tip looks pleasantly menacing. The OCC, clearly visible through the Pyrex tube, is squared, and it gives the Nano a rather unique kind of look. Okay, now the bottom line, price and value. Kangertech provided the Subtank Nano for the purpose of this review, so I didn't have to buy it. They sent it to me so I could review it. And at the time it arrived, it wasn't yet available at retail. Though since then, Kanger has begun accepting orders. Kangertech website lists the price for the Nano at $39.90. American e-liquid store has ordered the Nano and tells me that they'll have it available for $34.99. That's less than I paid for my Kanger Aero Tank Mega, though I'm sure that the price of that has come down a little bit since. One of the things you have to consider when buying a tank is how much the coils cost. Kanger says the new OCC heads are durable, but they don't specify how long they're supposed to last, and I haven't had to replace one yet. Coils are a little pricier than those for other tanks, but for the purity of flavor and the amount of vapor they produce, even if they only last as long as other coils, they're well worth the price. If you enjoy pure taste and lots of vapor, and you don't care to rebuild coils, then the Subtank Nano scores solidly on the price-value scale. I really love this little Subtank Nano. And again, little probably not the best word for it, but it is the smallest in the Subtank line. I can recommend it to vapors of intermediate to above experience. It might be a little too much for someone just starting out, but for vapors who prefer dripping, it'll make a nice away-from-home tank for those times when dripping just isn't feasible. Now, if you're into rebuilding or have been considering it, then you might want to hold out for the Subtank Mini, which I'll be reviewing soon. Keep in mind, you'll need a mod that's powerful enough to handle the Nano. That's why I don't recommend it for beginners. And even intermediate vapors might need to upgrade to a more powerful mod before picking up a Nano if they hope to get the most out of this tank. I tested the Kangertech Subtank Nano on the e-leaf eye stick, and when I could get it away from my wife for a couple of minutes, the Dovpo E-Mech, with a variety of e-juices, and each juice tasted at its best in the Nano with the sub-ohm OCC. Thank you so much for visiting 7 Report today. I hope that you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out the rest of the website, 7report.com. You have to spell out the word 7 for more hardware and e-juice reviews and other information. At the bottom of this video and also at the bottom of the article on the website, I'll have a link to American e-liquid store where you can order the Subtank Nano. Thanks again for stopping by, and embrace the vape.